Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Adam Fyfe, and today I've got a nice guest with me, Josh from Mortgage Connection, talking a little bit about why you should consider chatting with a mortgage broker and looking at further services to obtain a mortgage. So Josh, thanks for coming, and why don't you tell the viewers just a little bit about who you are and what Mortgage Connection is all about?
Oh, and thank you. Again, my name is Josh Higgelke. I'm actually the broker of record here with Mortgage Connection. Very proud to be one of the partners of Mortgage Connection. We're very focused on the community and giving back the communities in which we serve.
I like that.
And as a brokerage, our team culture is collaboration. We all work together to help get deals done, which ultimately benefits the client in the end. If 100 heads are better than one, right? So if there's a tough file that comes across the desk, we bounce it off each other and ultimately try to get the client the mortgage that they're hoping for.
Right, and when I was chatting with Joe, actually, he was sharing with me that you guys have grown quite a bit. You've got 100 brokers now, and for a local brokerage, that's absolutely fantastic. So kudos to you guys. Obviously, you're doing something right, and I think people are taking notice to that. So
well, thank you. Yeah, we're extremely proud. We just have incredible brokers that want to give, again, give back to the community, give back to each other.
Right.
And that's really the big difference here. Like when people come here, they joke around, we call it the Moco Mojo. And it's just that vibe, that feeling. And it is working together to try to accomplish one goal. Right? Then you say, why choose us maybe over a bank? And that's a question I get asked all the time. And we kind of are against the banks, right? The banks have the vast majority of market share, and it's just been that way for a long time. I think there's a lot of almost blind trust for the banks. Like people just have that trust for them.
I agree.
Ultimately, I think that they're really looking out for their shareholders. And some people just feel like, oh, just go to the bank, right? So because the bank has so much market share, as brokers, we really work together because we don't really step on each other's toes. We're trying to take a piece of that bank market share.
Right.
And so we help each other to do so, right? We're not really in competition with each other.
Yeah, and if there's anything that I've learned over my career as being a realtor, the brokers just have an array of options. So if you were to tell someone, look, we've got X amount of connections, we've got X amount of lenders, what number could you put on that? Because I know that there's so many different options for a mortgage, and I would imagine you guys have a lot of connections. So how far does your reach go with different lenders?
It's typically about that 40 to 50 range,
okay,
right?
Yeah.
You have a lot of really great relationships with your A-type lenders, your most aggressive interest rates, which clients are always after.
Yeah.
But they all have niches. They all, not all, but some have niches that will allow for different underwriting criteria. So if a deal's a little bit different than the standard, we have more options, right? And sometimes you find that banks or lenders, their pricing can be off. Sometimes they're more competitive, and then sometimes they're just priced out. So we keep an eye on that and try to find the clients the best fit and best overall value, I guess you could say.
So, loaded question for you.
Yeah.
Would you answer your phone at 8 o'clock at night?
I do. You know, it's that work-life balance. I got three little kids. 8's safe. It's tough for me about 6:30. I'm wrangling kids.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, I've been at this for 15 years. If I can't, it's always a quick text back or, hey, I'm trying to get kids to bed. May I call you back after? We're there for the client. That's the difference too, a big difference. When the 5 o'clock day ends, it doesn't end.
Right.
You're there for clients. You're answering questions. This is a big, important time for them getting a mortgage. And so we want to be there.
Especially when you're getting down to the wire. I mean, one of the things as a realtor that I get frustrated with is not getting a hold of a lender or a bank or sometimes even a broker, right? Because you need to have that quick answer, especially if you're coming right down to the line. So I think that's, for myself, that's actually one of the biggest pushes that I share with my clients to say, look, your bank might have a good rate. Who knows what the payout penalties are going to be like or all that jazz. But what I want to be confident and comfortable with is if we're in a situation where we need an answer, I would rather work with someone like Josh who might not answer his phone right at 6:30 if he's eating dinner, but he's going to get back to you that night. And he's going to give you an answer.
Well, and to be clear, if we're down to the wire, my lovely wife's putting the kids to bed that night, and I'm still
fair enough.
sure that we get it across the line.
Yeah, so true. So besides some of those reasons that we just spoke about, what might be one more reason that someone would at least have a conversation with a broker over their bank?
Aside from being competitive, I believe the most competitive, I think it's just that overall touch and personal feel. Like ultimately, we are, thank you.
Yeah.
As brokers, we're essentially self-employed contractors.
Amen. Yep.
Right? We don't work for a bank. We don't have the team huddle with the bank telling you what to sell.
For sure.
Ours is more like, what are your goals and how can we help you achieve those? Ultimately, I know it sounds maybe a little cheesy, for lack of a better term, but it's true. Right? The better that we do and the best we serve our clients, ultimately then hopefully the more we can grow our business and benefit too. So we're really in it for the client.
I love the flexibility too. I mean, I deal with investors, first-time home buyers, seniors downsizing, stuff like that, and there's just so much flexibility, right? That every mortgage is different, right?
Yep.
A bank might give you their product that's kind of nice and rounded for a lot of people, but if you want that specific product, I think a broker is definitely 10 out of 10 times worth having a conversation.
And essentially, as the government keeps tightening up these rules,
It's fair.
the lending guidelines and
Yeah,
the rule changes,
totally fair.
a broker is on it, right? And various banks have again different policy,
Right.
different underwriting, and so we'll look for those opportunities and know right away, like, oh, this bank does that. So when a client calls you, I have a solution.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I think for the viewers out there, for anyone who's interested in just having a no obligation conversation, just a hello and a talk and maybe some questions, Josh, I would believe, is happy to answer your phone call or your email. So what's kind of like the best way for someone to contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. Phone call, as you can tell, I'm a bit of a talker. So
Me too.
I'm happy to get on the phone. Phone call, text, email. Again, nowadays you have to be available in basically all sorts of communication. So
That's awesome. So we'll make sure to put your contact information both in the description and on the screen here. So any final words, anything, or do you think we've kind of
I
covered
think
that
we
basis?
did pretty good. Yeah, just please give us
Sure.
a try. Give a broker a try.
Yeah, amen. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much for watching the video and consuming some content with myself and Josh here. So we'll see you on the next one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Peace.